Well, that's regarding our business tips and quotes, of course, as one of the ways to start your day inspired as an entrepreneur. I remember some of these quotes actually were written from a place of experience, and so it's very important to take keen about them. But of course, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your personal opinion about them. It is okay. Yeah, some people take quotes literally how they are, and they build their whole life on a quote, which is okay. I won't judge, but remember, this is something of okay, let me give an example. Like, for all generations, the human civilization has been evolving from one point to another. So what was the truth 1,000 years BC is not the truth now. We've discovered a higher truth. So imagine you're living your life on a perception of 1000 BC. Even what we call truth is relative. Truth, actually, these are facts. Truth is deeper. There's a difference between a truth and a fact. I don't know whether people knew that, but
anyway.
that's a discussion which I don't want to bring.
Anyway, the very last quote was actually interesting. Not focusing your energy. The secret is not focusing your energy on the old, but the secret of change is not to focus all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building
the new.
Most of us have spent quite some time trying to fight what
the
was
past.
In the past. You're trying to
we are
fight
locked up in the past.
Self, or was it this or wasn't that? How about you use that same energy you would use to fight?
And you think about the new you.
Yes, focus on the new you. What is it that you try? What is it that you want to achieve now? Yes, the old has gone, like the Bible says. The old
now
has
behold, the new has come.
Behold, the new has come, which is now today. Assuming today is the new. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have in place to make sure that you are a different person than yesterday? I mean, yesterday was yesterday. I mean, it is what it is. It was what it is. So definitely, you have to make sure that you have a strategy. When we dwell too much on the past, we lose out on today.
Yeah, we actually lose out on potential opportunities which could probably which could transform our lives in most cases. And sometimes it's just all about self-pitying. Sometimes we love being to self-pity ourselves, and you come to realize that at some point when you're too much into self-pity, you reach a point and become comfortable about that situation, and you always think that probably people are going to be mourning for you, and because your past is still draining you all this much, and you seem to be very comfortable, but when at the back of your mind you know that actually this aspect is really draining you very, very, very much. So
now, I must give an example of Albert Einstein, the one that did he invent a bulb or something? Albert
Einstein
is
I confuse him with Tesla, but he's one of the wisest people we've had.
He's actually, Tesla is the second.
Tesla is the second.
Yes. So imagine he actually focused his actually past. He tried. Wow, I don't know how many times did he try?
And things weren't working out.
Things weren't working
out. I've not really read so much about Albert Einstein.
If he dwelt on the past, really, I don't think we would have a bulb right now. We wouldn't.
A bulb that was Thomas Edison.
I don't know, whatever invasion I wasn't, I must say, I wasn't
tried 1,000 times.
I wasn't the very best in physics or, something like that. But then I know someone out there tried as much as they can. So imagine they had to look back, they used their mistakes actually in the past to build on today. So he would go like, maybe I didn't fix the wires, right?
Yeah.
I need to fix
them right.
But just imagine you're in disappointment. The day has come, you need to fix this, and you're on deadline. You're seated. Yesterday was the worst.
The worst day.
How am I going to do this? So you use your past mistakes. What didn't go right yesterday to fix today?
Okay.
I think I may be a motivational speaker.
Sure, you want to be one. You make a good one, but
the trick is, by the way, the trick is in the morning. If you want to be the very best, wake up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror, and tell yourself. Speak to yourself. Speak to yourself. That is how you get the confidence.
Interesting. Motivation speakers are interesting. You see, in most cases, actually. Okay, most especially when if you say you're a business coach for business, you're coaching business people, when they sometimes speak things they don't even live, speaking a life that you don't live.
That's the thing.
But I think it would be more effective if, for example, if you say that you're a marriage counselor, you must have experienced marriage for some time, but today we have somebody, because you've run a business 2 months, now you want to be a business coach.
Yes.
You've been in marriage for 1 year, now you're a professional. Anyways, that's something you need to understand.
I was talking to someone actually yesterday, and they said the thing about content creation, people have used it as an advantage to themselves. He was talking about content creation. There is a thing about it. The person who is trying to educate you about content creation, they have no content.
They have no content.
Yeah, it's just they're putting up a video to teach you how to create.
So actually, there are people, we've seen people that have emerged millionaires with such scams, of course, speaking things that they don't really live. They tell you how to make money. Actually, people have gone ahead to tell you, how to make money in people are so crazy. In 10 minutes, and you make yourself $1,000. I mean, there are lots of aspects that you find all those people speaking things that they don't actually live or believe. They don't live and even believe in them, but simply because it sounds nice to speak. That you can share something to the people because it sounds nice to share it. But do you have a conviction of that? Do you believe in it? That's a very, very, very important thing to look into as a person, as somebody that is planning to create impact. It is very, very, very key for you there. Then I think we had a tip also which came in before that, which talked about push for decision as a leader of anything. A push for decision. Maybe it's a terrible place for you to be. It's not good for you, and it's not good
for the customer.
But you're left unsure if the customer is ready to buy, and the customer is in a limbo, of course, waiting for solution. Of course, when you know that prospects have enough information to make decisions, of course, then make them push one.
I have something concerning that. If you have taken time to go to shop something. Yes, shop for something. These people, these people that own businesses, do you know they make the decision for you? I've seen people do these moves of, let me take 2 steps so that I see if the person will call me back.
Okay.
And see, you negotiating on the price, and the price is becoming the price. Then in your mind, you're like, let me take 2 steps and see if this person is really serious. So at the end of the day, someone is like, what does it? Let me make a loss today, but at least see I've sold something.
And
you're like, come. It's okay.
Yeah, it's, by the way, pushing me, how I get that is as a business person, pushing for decision is something key because you need to take leadership. I believe in taking leadership, and leaders make decisions, right? Not any person makes a decision. So that is something that you need to really, it's an ethic, it's one of those characters that need to be groomed into you as a business person, that you're really well versed when it comes to decision making.
Can I ask a question, Andrew?
Yes.
Your point of view. Do you think leaders are born or made?
Well,
can someone can a leader be mad, or it's just your personality? Or
they're both possible.
Oh.
And when they tell you that, okay, I'll answer it also this way.
If I went on YouTube and went on a tutorial on how to be a leader, do you think I would?
You would if you take if you personalize the information you read and you get to know that it applies to you. It's like when they say that when talent doesn't work hard, hard work will beat the talent. You know, there are people that necessarily okay,
people
just
that are not talented,
but because they hard work so much. For example, many people when they I'm going to digress a little bit. When they talk about football, Messi and Cristiano, and they will tell you that Messi is natural talent, but Cristiano worked hard. But you see, the person who worked hard is on top there, and I believe there are so many players out there that are really naturally talented for football, but why they're nowhere to be seen, you know. So all those add up, you know, to make up that aspect of, you know, getting to see what contributes to you. So it's not a good thing to take it for granted. So you need to really take time to understand your craft.
I think people need to be bold, really. Just
True.
be bold in your fear. Be bold. That's the epic of it all.
Be bold.
Stand your ground. Say this. Own it.
Okay.
Don't let someone actually like the kuisama, so like the Baganda say kuisama
Amas. All right. Now away from that, it's exactly 14 minutes past 8. Let's get into another discussion here. And of course, as I told you, it's the budget month. And in here we see understanding the budget day. Of course, we shall be having expectations from the budget reading day as the members of parliament express their concerns regarding this matter. And of course, in here we have Honorable Elijah Okupa, that is Kasilo County Member of Parliament. Then there is Honorable Sechitoleko Robert, that is Member of Parliament, Bamuanika constituency, and Honorable Kaya Christine, that is, of course, giving us the expectations regarding the budget reading day.
The budget, on the other hand, is the government's expenditures and revenues. The revenues to finance the expenditure, or the expenditure both recurrent and development for the next financial year. But also must give what the background to the budget, give projections of how did the budget for the previous year perform, or the current year, how did it perform, and how do we expect to address them? What were the challenges in regarding the expenditures? Were there leakages? Were there challenges in implementing the government plans during that time? Did we meet our expected revenues from the Uganda Revenue Authority, from the local revenue, from the imports, but also from the partners who are supposed to finance us and the non-tax revenue? So that is what the budget is supposed to be. Give us a projection about that. But to me, because we changed the budgeting process, it starts in October up to June. So keen Ugandans should be able to know. It's no longer an ambush. It's no longer breaking news like it used to be, that people will say, wait for midnight tonight, this is what's going to happen. So I expect Ugandans to know there's nothing new, because there's been a debate throughout, consultation throughout. So that is it. So if you are expecting a miracle, then that's wrong. That's wrong.
We cannot change much, but a budget speech would mean that all the interests of Ugandans are just within that. But with how the status is, they just mention figures, GDP, GNP, where they just live as normal Ugandans at the roadside. In that, they will mention what is in the budget, but you'll find when the president is coming with a supplementary, and yet even budget is ongoing, all the process is on, and you ask, what was the budget for? So that's why I have like the combination of the 2 days. Leave the normal Ugandan like a dove spending their money without a justifiable cause. And on the budget day, that's when someone, even you used to say briefcase when I was young, see that all the monies are going to be within that. So, but now, those 2 days, they could be meaningful But this regime has made them like a concert day or talent day of those days of school, where just someone see dancing, and you go home. Now for us, they just read for us and we go. So for them, they enjoy what they think, because now, if the two votes, the president and state house, they consume all about the money. Even you state that even now, whatever, the loans, we service the loans, even half of the budget. So now that means we are just going there to help the interests of the Museveni and his counterparts to take us through that. But I think the only comment I can give to Ugandans is to sit down and analyze.
So now, because we have not understood ourselves properly, that is why even the budget, whatever comes out, is what we go with. Because if somebody tells you that at the moment, for example, in Kiboga district, we have adequate medical supplies for only 16 days in a year, and then somebody asks you, what have you done about that in the coming budget? And the budget cannot answer the challenge. And it is not only happening to the health sector, but also the education sector. When we have identified that it is very bad to pay teachers differently, some teachers being paid higher than the arts teachers, we know our problems, but we don't want to incorporate them in our decisions, in our plans, in our budgets, and in our national submissions.
Members of Parliament expressing their views regarding the budget. What are the expectations, of course, from that particular line?
You know,
What's making it exciting?
I like the fact that Honorable Sechitodeko said, theirs is to just hear figures, you know, and they go back home. Really, so it's quite absurd, actually. I must say, because people they're going to hear figures and the figures and the figures and the expectations, the sectors, you feel the sectors. Okay, now that it's going to be a different actually shift of events to program based, but still the sectors you expected that needed more funding.
But you know, despite it being a program based, still it will confuse some people, and they need to understand, because remember, certain programs fall under certain sectors.
You know, I was talking to Mr. Richard, the economist. We had a live on Friday. And he said the reason as to why they actually did
the program based
is because there are usually two sectors in one, so they tend to make it a program. So that is why you find health. It's in one community. So let's say there is a school, then there is a health center. So they try to fix them into one program. So that the expenditure, the allocation is much more easier. And of course, I'm sure that is the one thing I'm expecting for explanation. Why now?
Why now?
Yeah, why now?
Well, there are always what we call innovations, and I mean discoveries on how to do things. Because when you tell me why now, maybe they are just trying out to see how does it work if we go program based. You know, actually, I can't realize so many times I've been on different events, and you know, you hear these probably these journalists asking these people, I'm just assuming there is something new, and you say, why now? No, because why not? Because we're trying it out to see how it works. You know, we try out new things every other day and see. You know,
but of course, we actually anticipate for the State of Nation address this week, where there will be letting us, the president will be
accountability for the year 2022,
2023, and of course, as we await for 2023, 2024, and how, you know, the funds
are going to be put down and, you know, broken down in terms of expenditure.
And of course, I like the fact that, you know, when you have knowledge on what the budget is and its purpose, you know where to put your much emphasis on as a business person.
Yeah, actually, that's what I had even talked about in the morning call. Is that if you have this knowledge and you know the purpose of the budget, it will make you to know what to do next for you to, because you are participating into the revenue generation for the government. You know, and you know, when I talk about revenue, I mean that tax which is levied from you. You mentioned something that some people don't understand these terms. Yeah, so it's very important, because when you know what the budget requires of you, and most especially I'll dwell much more on the taxation aspect, you will know what to think, where to invest further, to expand production, and before you know it, you will become more productive, and the country will be benefiting, of course, in the longer run.
Just to say something actually really small on Friday still. He talked about, Mr. Richard talked about something relating to climate financing.
Climate financing.
Climate financing. Why? Because I feel like it's more important. The fact that we are shifting from subsistence farming to commercial farming, it is important.
Okay.
Why? Because seasons are changing.
Sure.
You are uncertain of when it will rain.
Or non-rain.
Or when the drought will come in.
Absolutely true.
So now our farmers have to be facilitated. There has to be ways on how to prepare for these seasons. It's the dry seasons.
Yeah.
What have they put in place? Do people understand what irrigation is?
Okay.
Have they set? It may not necessarily be this irrigation where the water is like, you know, you can try your little innovation of irrigation.
Irrigation, of course, it can be done different ways. Doesn't have to be the traditional aspect.
What are they doing when it comes to deforestation? We are seeing people are burning trees for charcoal.
Okay.
Are we taking initiative to at least inform people that our ground is not
the best
right now, for the fact that we are shifting to commercial farming? We need the fertility of the land. We need those forests to bring rain.
So you mentioned climate financing in that aspect. So that means if somebody can position themselves to be a part of that, I mean the climate financing, because definitely there are quite lots going to be a number of organizations globally, not only on the national level but on the global perspective, ready to finance any climate best related activities, that as long as your activity is friendly to the environment, you're good to go. Climate financing.
No, I saw this global plastic something. It
was in the press today.
The whole month, was it last month, they've been advocating for doing away with plastics. So soon there's going to be financing, like you said, for countries that are taking initiative to do away with
anything that does with dealing with the environment.
More so the water bodies.
Okay.
Most water bodies are in poor state. People go out in whatever, the ferries, they be out partying, and plastics are everywhere, varroas are everywhere. It's polluting the water that we consume on a daily.
Okay.
Soon enough, we shall have insufficient fish.
Sure. Can fish get done?
Oh, really? You do not know? Because, I mean, imagine if the water is polluted, the water from factories, from the plastics that means they won't have, it will affect them.
Okay.
That means they may swim further or die.
Interesting. Well, climate financing there, an aspect in the budget, something to really take into great consideration as a Ugandan, and how best you can position yourself for you to be, you could get this finance and do quite lots of things. Well, it's 27 minutes past 8, but of course, before we get into the break, don't forget the markets on the Zaba platform. As I speak right now, they have already open. That's 12 minutes back. Star 292 hash is the USSD code for you to be a part of them, where you'll be available with quite a number of options to buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000. But of course, you can choose to invest more. But Zaba simply says start with 15,000 Ugandan shillings to make your life much more easy and better. Now, the markets open at 8:15 a.m., closing at 3:15 p.m. East African time, Monday up to Friday. except on the weekends and the public holidays when you can access these markets. Yes, but at least you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make yourself quite a huge profit, as of course you buy government bond and securities. I always say this is one of the ways you can earn a side income for yourself and offset the possible trade deficits. Now Zab says my money, my future, and also East Africa says do something new. Well, let's get into the break, and definitely when we return, I shall be taking a look at what's happening into the world of business, entertainment, and sports at the same time. Good morning.